Hi, today I need to get a new PE bag or sports bag made so that we can get rid of this old worn out one and the PE kit can get taken to school again. I'm going to be using some napkins, about 50 centimetres by 50 centimetres, and I want to keep it nice and simple, so I need to sew along two top edges to create a hole for where the rope is going to go later. It also means if I use napkins that I won't have any frayed edges on the inside. It's just going to keep it so much simpler than having to hem anything or double line or anything like that. So let's get these edges sewn. Bit of strengthening at either end of the sewing, but also I need to make sure that they're folded over large enough that my rope can get through, and it can get through easily, and then it will make the bag so much easier to open and close. Okay, so we've got both ends folded over now on two separate napkins, which gives us the tube part to put the string through. I'm going to put these right sides together now because I want to create my bag. So I just even it all up, and then I go down one side from the bottom of the tube, leave a gap to the corner, around, along the bottom, up, leave a gap again, and then finish at the bottom of the tubing. So let's get that sewn together. Nice bit of reverse sewing there just to make it nice and strong for people ramming shoes into these PE bags is always a good idea. And I'm going to put some reinforcement next to the hole, just so that it doesn't come undone when I'm going to use the hole later. You can also do a little bit of reinforcement on the corners if you wish. I've done a little bit because I know how rough these PE bags will get treated and get slung about and just over shoulders and all the rest of it. So here's the other corner, bit of reinforcement there too. Up to the next gap. I'm not bothering to cut the threads there because it's just not necessary at the moment. Can always trim it off later. And then all the way back up to the tubes at the top here. Another nice bit of reinforcement there. So just to show you, don't actually need to turn it through, but you can see now that the right sides are finished and there is a decent sized hole. It's not massive, it's going to be for the strings in a little bit. So we'll get some nice corners there and a little hole, and you can see how quickly this is all coming together. We're basically adding the strings already, and it's took minutes to get this far. I've reclaimed these strings from some other item, I can't even remember which. I find these needles quite useful, from kids' old tapestry kits I think, but if you haven't got one, a safety pin will do. That will allow you to thread the rope through our tube all the way to one side, like that, outside, and in through that tube, along and back out. So we're going to have two cut ends at the same side. So let's get that done. the string all the way through. Now all I've got to do is take off the needle, line them up, get them into a nice knot. I find these knots are the tightest and won't come undone, so I find those quite handy. And then what we'll be doing is putting it through this hole and stitching it shut, so it'll look really nice. But of course I need to turn it back through now so that I can actually do the sewing. So it goes inside the bag, a bit counterintuitive this, and then in through the hole so that we've got the knot on the inside, and then I can stitch over that a number of times so that it's nice and secure. So to get it to be a proper drawstring, we need to do the opposite way with the rope now. So this is a second piece of rope of the same size that I'm going to put through. So down one, two, back down through the other, and then the two hanging ends will be this side this time. And there we go. I've done it, and I've done the knot. So all I've got left to do now is put it back inside the bag, out through the other hole that we made, and then get this one stitched over the top, and then I'll have made a bag. And it's only took about 10 or 15 minutes, really quick, and here we are. So next job, get it turned through, and then we'll test it, make sure that our drawstring does actually drawstring. Right, let's pull those strings. Great, I think that'll keep their boots and PE kits in there. Plenty big enough to keep all their PE kits in there. I'm quite pleased with that. What I liked about this one was how quick and simple it actually was. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye!